Welcome to our Thursday night live stream.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and then every Monday, we go live on Keto on the Couch, where we just kind of talk about what's going on in our lives for the week.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we have to restart the live stream, you'll be alerted to it.
So sorry about that. We had some kind of a glitch where it didn't want to show
ketos.
Everything, but we're here.
Hi.
And it is Thursday, so if you're new to our channel, this is our Thursday night live stream.
Hi there.
We kind of talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We say go ahead and ask your keto questions and carnivore questions. We will try to get to them. If you want to make sure that we do see your question, go ahead and use the little super chat function down below. That's the little $sign that you see in the chat window. That'll highlight our screen when you use that, and we will be able to answer your question and make sure we notice it.
I'm a little bit squeaky today. I'm sorry about my voice in advance, but we went to the Rapids Water Park
for Caleb's 21st birthday.
For Caleb's 21st birthday yesterday, and I screamed, y'all, because a lot of those water slides were basically designed like a toilet. Basically just like flushes you. You get in a raft and they flush you down this thing, and we were all together in rafts.
Right.
So then I'm worried that like we're gonna fall out of the raft and bump into each other. We didn't, thank you, Lord, but it was still enough to scream my head off.
Yeah, and I probably sound funny because I've got all these temporary teeth. Like every tooth on my top right now is a temporary tooth. And like it keeps falling out, so I keep gluing it back in, and now there's like a little gap there. So sorry about that. So tomorrow
we'll try not to smile.
Is April 1st.
No kidding.
No kidding.
No fooling.
So we have a new challenge. Now we still need to make the video for that. So it's going to come out sometime tomorrow of what exactly we're doing.
We ran out a week.
But to let you guys know, basically what we're going to be doing is tracking, right? So why are we tracking? Stop looking at comments.
Okay, I'm sorry. We are tracking because accountability is not a bad thing.
Right.
I think sometimes people will, and I am included. I'm the biggest, problem person with this problem. And that is sometimes we're like, I don't know what happened. I don't know how this happened. I'm creeping up in weight. I can't seem to stay on track. I don't know what is happening. It's like it fell on top of me. I guess I'm unlucky. I guess maybe keto doesn't work for me. I guess I'm like not a disciplined person. There's like all of these outside things that we're like, I wonder what is happening. And we could solve the problem, riddle me this, if we would track.
Right.
There is an answer to be found, but we have to track it down. It almost rhymes.
Yeah.
Almost.
So basically it's like, stop fooling yourself.
Yeah.
Is the whole focus for this month. And it doesn't necessarily have to be food tracking.
Yeah.
We're going to focus on food tracking. That's what we are going to do. And the reason we're going to encourage people to, for the next 30 days, and if you don't want to do this, that is completely fine. You still get to be a part of the Two Crazy Ketos family. But every month, we like to have some kind of a track. But a lot of times, we all look down and we're like, why am I not having success? Why am I not losing weight? Why am I in a stall? Why am I gaining weight? I'm only eating keto. I'm doing everything right. And I forgot to turn off the air conditioner.
That's all right.
I will go do that in 1 second. But the problem is sometimes we let things get away from ourselves, right? Sometimes we get complacent in what we're doing. And, for us, we're intuitive eaters. We don't really track our food, but we kind of know about where we should be. And sometimes we get some creep back in there, whether it be a carb creep where we start consuming more carbs than we really thought we were. For example, maybe
that's going through my mind.
We're having some heavy whipping cream. And we all forget that all heavy whipping cream has carbs. Maybe we're adding butter to every single thing we eat. and we're consuming 50 to 100 grams more of energy a day than our body needs. So tracking is a good way to just kind of take a look at what's going on.
Right.
Let me go turn off the air conditioner and you can go over your papers very quickly.
Because there's lots of other things to track. One of the reasons why we're doing this tracking thing is because, you know, I say to Joe all the time, hey, we talk about 150 ounces of protein and 150 ounces of fuel, which is a combination of fat and carbs. But what does that look like? I need to actually see it. I can't be eyeing my plate any more than I just eye my health goals. So, but if you do not want to track like we are in Chronometer, you're looking to track something this month, maybe not exactly what we're tracking, but we don't want to let you out of this challenge. We want to give you more opportunities to track something. And with tomorrow's post, because in the Facebook family group and usually on Instagram,
it'll also go up on our website.
Yep, I will post some worksheets that I've been working on that you could print if you're interested in tracking literally anything.
And we're going to go over all this in tomorrow's video, so we're going to be really brief with it tonight.
So this is one way you could track, basically like a 30-day challenge. Maybe you have a broad view, like, hey, I know what my goals are, and I just want to put a check mark every day of 30 days when I do it. There's a tracking worksheet for that. There is a habit tracker that we're going to be releasing. So maybe it's not just your meal plan, but you want to track exercises that you're doing when you're getting them in every single day. If you want to track your meals like this, like maybe you don't want to be super precise, but you want to say, hey, I had a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, and I kept snacks out of it. There's going to be a worksheet for that if that is something you want to do. This one I'm super excited about, even though it looks very boring, it's very important, and that is every single time you have a food or coffee or beverage experience, we've got something that's going on by hour so that you could track that every single day. Because sometimes we're like, I don't think I ate that many times. This will help you see, did I actually have more dining and beverage experiences than I planned on? And then finally, if you're just looking for a daily check-in where you can kind of journal to yourself, what are some things that I'm doing? You know, I want to track my gratitude. I want to talk about and track what are some of my stressors and how are some of the ways that I'm dealing with it. We want to give you a variety of ways that you can track what's important to you in April. No joke.
So watch for that video tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit the bell button so that you're notified when the video comes up. A couple of comments up here. James, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat.
Thanks so much, James.
Said Joe, hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. And Shauna, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Says we can't hear the AC. Keep it cool if you need.
Bless your heart.
It didn't crank quite up before I got to it, but yeah, it comes in like, really loud to hear. But thank you very much, guys. So Michelle said, doing carnivore, I don't track anything so easy. And again, we're not saying anybody has to, but even on carnivore, even on beef, butter, bacon, and egg, we can gain weight. We can overdo it if we're not doing something right or if we're doing too much of something. And that's why we're going to encourage people, if for no other reason than, you know, okay, now I know what that amount looks like. Like Rachel said, I know that 150 grams of protein looks like this. For example, people say, how do I get protein in? Rachel ate 2 cans of tuna fish tonight. Small cans, that was 60 grams of protein right there, bang, and it was only 300 calories.
It was amazing.
So there's lots of things, but
tracking your sleep,
tracking the amount of food, how many times a day are you eating? If you're eating 25 times a day, even on carnivore or beef, butter, bacon, and egg, good chance you're not going to have the success you're looking for. We want to only eat 1 or 2 meals a day. And every time you put something in your mouth,
it's an
you're
event.
Technically eating a meal.
Yeah.
Let's get into the rest of the comments.
Awesome.
Okay. So let's see. Shauna said, I thought I wouldn't get used to Rachel not having black hair. I was so wrong. Rachel, you are just glowing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I definitely need, there's a conditioning treatment that when I go to, because I need to get my hair cut before we get to Utah.
Salt Lake.
Yeah, because I mean, it is just, it's hard to manage right now. So I need a haircut. And I also need one of those like rinses where they like rinse out all of the product and like leave you fresh again. I love that experience. I am all about it and I'm excited about it.
Kristen, ear hustling. Steve and I had the car hood already placed. Yeah, you had to change out and daughter's car hood.
How?
We had that.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Purple Lady said, I want to know how to counteract stress.
I think that is an awesome thing to track. And I know that sounds like weird. Like, why am I, tracking like stress and when I don't feel good in my interactions with something? But it's a good thing to take a look at. Are there things that we can do that we're not doing? We're just guessing unless we take a closer look at it.
Right. Estie's Wrong said, Joe, how much longer are you going to be on the soft food thing? I feel for you. I don't know.
And we're at
forever? Right now. So what happened was every crown on the top of my mouth had to come out. And then we also had to have a couple of extractions. There's another one on top that still needs to be done. That's being done the week, like somewhere, I think it's May 9th. That one's coming out. So right now I have my front 6 teeth are all temporaries. You really can't chew anything with it. I can't bite. Every time I try to bite down on something, even something as simple as like a hard-boiled egg,
it's gone.
One of the teeth comes out.
Right.
So we're kind of, it's got to be food that's got to go to the side of my mouth. I can't really bite down on anything. And then today I had 5 more all come out. And so that's all temporaries as well too. So next week I'm supposed to get the front 6 in, which helps with actually being able to bite on something, but it doesn't help with chewing.
Can we all just like pray and send good feelings
We're really
our way
hoping
that they
those
come
teeth
in
come
on time.
in. Otherwise, I won't have them for Keto Salt Lake.
Otherwise, we're going to be gluing in some falsies when we're in Utah. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that they go in and that they cooperate.
If they do come in next Wednesdays when they're supposed to go in, my plan is to immediately go to Texas Day, Brazil, because at least I can chew on a piece of meat, at least bite it off,
Do
and
not
then I'll
Pasco.
just chew on the temporaries
Do
in
not
the back.
collect $200.
But then the other side of my mouth,
Straight to Texas Day, Brazil.
At least 7 more months, but I'll at least be able to chew on this side. And once the top pieces are done while we're waiting for the implant, every bottom tooth needs work as well.
Do you want everybody to choose some delicious food for you?
No.
So that
And
they're
please don't tell me
enjoying
about
it,
it.
enjoying it, inspired. I do need to pass on a thank you. Caleb, right before the live stream, wanted me to thank everybody that wished him a happy birthday. He said he actually left a comment on the Keto Chow live because thanks so much for Chris and Miriam singing him happy birthday. But he's happy to be 21 and thankful for all the well wishes.
Yep. Mary Jane said, how is the best way to track truly measuring every dang thing? Eyeballing just what you eat when you eat. It's up to you.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do is literally track everything we eat.
All of it.
So if we're eating eggs, like putting in Chronometer, I'm eating 5 eggs, I'm eating 6 eggs, I'm eating 4 ounces of pastrami with my eggs, a tablespoon of butter. Because we have found, like I said, we talked about with the, when we were eating the bread, we were eating 2 sticks of butter every 3 days between the two of us. And I got news for you. We weren't paying attention to that, but that is a tremendous amount of fat energy that we were consuming that we don't need.
It started out as very low calorie, high protein thing, but boy, we can slather it with extra fat. And let me tell you, this is no easy challenge for me. Anybody who has been around me for any length of time know tracking is not something that I love and embrace. And y'all need to pray for this man because I will be dragged kicking and screaming into any new level of accountability because it ain't fun.
Right. But it could just be you want to track how many times you eat a day. Every time you put a piece of food in your mouth, every time you have anything with any calories, putting a check mark. Hey, at 2 o'clock I had this. You know, if it's 1 piece of gum, if it is, 1 piece of cheese crisp, anything. And then at the end of the day, go like, oh my gosh.
Is that what you wanted to do?
I'm eating a lot more times than I thought I was.
That is the most important thing.
It could be whatever you want, though.
I am fine if at the end of the day, if you diligently track and at the end of the day, you're like, I had 10 meals. If you're comfortable with that, if you're happy with that, I'm happy with that. I am excited for that. What I don't want is not knowing that it's happening. It's one thing to look at it at the end of the day and say, like, this is what I did, and face it. It's not okay to be like, this is what I did, I'm not facing it, and then tomorrow I'm gonna be upset with the scale or myself or outside influences because I'm thinking this happened to me and I'm never able to take responsibility for what I'm doing.
Yeah, so we're getting way behind, so let's get back into it.
Hi,
So
Sky.
Sky said, I don't think calculators are one size fits all. I'm an older than what I think their base is, and I think I'm supposed to get more protein than many of them allow.
Yeah.
I am not a big fan of a lot of the keto macro calculators. And the reason being is pretty much all of them look at percentages, and we shouldn't be looking at percentages. You should be looking at how many grams of protein and how many grams of fat should you be eating in a day. We strongly believe in the 1-to-1. I think it's the easiest way. Most people undereat protein. As Dr. Berry has talked about, we say the easiest way, the absolute easiest way to figure out how much protein you should be eating is to use your ultimate goal weight. And I don't mean the weight that you would like to be. I mean that stupid weight in the calculator that says like, hey, like it's for me, I'm supposed to weigh like 168 pounds. Okay.
All right.
Using that's the easiest way. If the best way is if you know what your lean body mass is and using that.
But I don't know what that is.
You're not going to, overeating protein is not a concern. It's overeating fuel. But honestly, when you're trying to figure out protein, older people need more protein. You know, and I'm in the middle of taking a bunch of classes and studying some stuff on nutrition. And it's one of the first things. And as a matter of fact, on this one that I'm studying, they're talking about how you should be eating a minimum, and it probably isn't enough, a minimum of 0.7 grams of protein for every pound of your current body weight.
I don't think we're getting nearly that much.
Right? So 0.7 pounds for every pound of current body weight should be your absolute minimum. And for women and for older people over the age of 45, it should probably be higher. So it's interesting that protein is super important. We don't believe in counting calories because when you look at all the calorie counters, they're counting protein calories, and protein calories don't matter. It comes down to fuel calories, which is fat and carbohydrates.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, like prediction, because I haven't been tracking, I will believe that I probably am getting close to the amount of protein or right at the amount of protein that I need, but I bet your bottom dollar that I've got more fuel going on than my protein consumption.
Yep.
I bet.
Kathleen said, Joe, I have a partial bridge that is my front teeth. That's what I have right now. The back of the temporary fell off the first day, and I spent 2 weeks shoving the front on and up. There was no going back for a new temp 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, even now, like, you know, it fell out the first day, and I didn't have another appointment for 9 days. And so I just, every day I glue it in, and it comes out 2 to 3 times a day.
You basically buddy taped it at this point.
Today, it came out.
Solution.
And when it came out, I put in the temporary cement, and then I rubbed a whole bunch of extra temporary cement along the back of it to join it to the temporary tooth next to it, so it's not coming out. So when I went to the dentist, she's like, yeah, it's not coming out now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I duct taped it.
But we still have the old one. We still have the original one. Cynthia said I didn't track for a while, and I stalled. Started doing February challenge with Wendy and Harry and lost 8 pounds.
Awesome.
Another 4 for March, and I'm back to tracking with ease and continuing.
That's awesome.
Susie said, yay, finally caught alive.
Yay.
Been off plan for a few months because of my carb binge monster. Reared its ugly head. Finally back on plan this week. My knees and hips will thank me. Hopefully soon.
How awesome, Susie. So good to see you.
Danita said, my coworker asked me about a book or two to read about how I eat. What do you recommend? I read a lot of books. What's a good starting point for a newbie? Keto by Maria Emmerich.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting
I have not read
question.
that book. First of all, the first place I'm always going to tell everybody to start. Absolutely, the first place to start is Dr. Berry's Lies My Doctor Told Me.
Yeah.
That is going to answer a lot
Very
of questions
eye-opening.
right off the bat of why are we eating this way?
Yeah.
Read that book first.
Right.
And from there, I love the Salt Fix. I love the PE Diet by Ted Naiman. I mean, there are a lot of, but now the PE Diet doesn't really focus on keto, but it does focus on
protein to energy,
which I think is super, super important. Michelle said doing carnivore, I don't track anything. We read that one already. Let's see. Tracy says sometimes it's good to track every once in a while, once a month, maybe always check.
This is the first monthly challenge that we have done this since like January, February, March. We're 4 months into this year, and this is the first time that we're dipping in the tracking thing.
Right. Maitreya said, I'm definitely going to track seriously after my bike incident recently.
Sorry.
I'm struggling with a ton of inflammation. All of a sudden, I put 10 pounds on from the injury.
I am so sorry, Maitreya.
It can happen so easily.
It's fast. It's really, really fast.
Haley's here, said, I'm new to this lifestyle. I'm
Haley.
still learning all of the tracking.
I love your butterfly. I'm a huge butterfly fan. I like the blue one, too.
Joanna said, today I redid my macros and I need to up my protein.
That's awesome.
Sharon said, I'll be tracking, even changed out the batteries in my kitchen scale to double check portion.
That's smart. You're never going to be, and again, this doesn't have to be forever. This is just for the month of April.
Yeah, Jason said, I need to track how many times I stress out or work in a month.
That's
I know
smart.
for sure that is something standing in my way.
Well, and then once you're like, gosh, I am upset so many times. I mean, for some people, it's like, you know, this is the month to get one of those like CGMs and track your blood sugar spikes. This is a good time to, you know, to track your blood pressure, see what's going on there. And then decide, do I want to make any changes? Like, you know, we have changed even... Like, we have prioritized getting sleep over a number of things in recent months.
And that's something I'm still working on.
But we had to examine it first. We had to be real with ourselves to say, like, hey, I understand that we want to be super productive and we want to fit everything in a day, but we are running out the clock if we consistently don't get enough sleep.
On average, I go to bed between 12 o'clock midnight and 1 a.m. and we're up by 6:30.
Yeah.
So I don't get
Not
enough sleep. And one of my goals is to start trying to, it's going to be difficult for me to try to add at least 2 more hours into that sleep. And that will be a difficult thing for me. But if I'm going to start tracking like, hey, this is what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it and how many times can I do it? I mean, I've got an Oura ring so I can track. When I do sleep, it's a deep sleep. But not getting that sleep and literally going to bed while looking at devices is not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's completely throwing off my circadian rhythm.
Keto Life Granny, haven't seen my sister in a year, so when she saw me Sunday, her jaw dropped. She called me skinny. I still have a lot to lose, but I was 76 pounds less than the last time she saw me. That is incredible. So yeah, good week, for real.
Amanda said, I have to track everything because I'm not good at portion sizes and nobody lies to me like I do.
Oh yeah. I am glad that I am not the only person, but I am a stinking liar to myself. Like, I absolutely have to hold myself accountable. It's for nobody else. It's not for Joe's information. We're not in a comparison of like who can be, you know, the goody keto person. It is all about just getting real with myself.
Lisa said, going early tomorrow to get my hair done for the first time in years. And Rachel, you have inspired me to get the gray look.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous how it's going to look.
You're gorgeous. So your hair is just going to accentuate your natural beauty because, Lisa, you are absolutely gorgeous.
Juju said, new rule is to do something I love or makes me laugh each day. Today it was a micro salsa. Made me with my first 2 cherry tomatoes and my mini jalapeno I grew. Yesterday was origami fish folding with the kiddos.
I think awesome. that is brilliant. That is an awesome thing to track. Do we track our belly laughs? Do we make sure that we get something in the day that relaxes us, that brings us joy? Or are we just going through the week, Monday through Friday, or whatever your weekend is, living for a weekend or living for a vacation? Because sometimes we lose track of fun, even in the midst of like our health planning. And, you know, we can do what we said to Bronson, which is have a smaller shirt, but not have a bigger life. And we want to have a bigger life experience.
Right. Sky said some of those calculators, some of the calculators to establish a baseline set of macros focus on fat as a priority, others focus on protein. How is a person to figure out which one is best? So, again, the problem with a lot of the calculators, especially when you look at a lot of the apps, is they're based on old belief systems where you needed to eat gobs and gobs of fat, which to a point at the very beginning, you need to eat more fat.
So you're not
And I'll talk about it and why in a minute. But they talk about percentages, like eating like 25% of your calories should come from protein and 75% should come from fat. And that's not the best way to look at it. The best way to look at it is always based on the amount of grams you're eating. When you look at percentage, like they'll all say 5% of your calories from carbs. But if you're a person who's eating maybe 3,000 calories a day, which is not necessarily a bad thing, 5%'s a lot. It's a lot more than 20. So that's why you don't want to look at it that way. Protein is always important. If you really want to use a calculator, the only calculator I'm really going to recommend would be Maria Emmerich's. But even there, I think that personally, my personal opinion, I'm not a doctor, a nurse, or a health professional, but I think many times it comes out with not eating enough fuel.
Yeah.
The 1-to-1 will work if you do it properly. But it means basically what you're going to talk about is getting your protein in and then not over consuming your energy. Calorie wise, if you really looked at calories, it will work out close to the same.
Yeah.
But the key is important thing is getting those fuel in, because I think what happens, a lot of people think, well, I have a bunch of fat to lose, so I don't need to eat any fat. Well, if you understand the way our body works and then it's going to look to the fat for fuel when you're not giving it carbohydrates, at one point, your body's going to be like, oh my gosh, there's no fuel coming in. Yes, I have stored body fat, but how long is that going to last?
Better not let any of it go.
So let me start slowing things down.
Yeah.
So you got to find that happy medium in there. But protein is super important. It's the one thing your body can't make. And that's, remember, your body can make glucose and it can make fat it by storing fat, but it cannot make protein.
It'd be cool if it could just like grow chicken.
Yeah.
Right there.
Anthony said, I'm definitely going to track with you. I started a reset today.
Yeah.
Back to keto chop for 2 meals. No more butter coffee. BBB. I gain 1-to-1. Gain carnivore. Gain. Lost eating keto chow twice a day.
Wow.
And I think one of the problems is a lot of times, and Anthony and I have talked about it, is we eat a lot. We eat many times a day. Like, we make a coffee. It's got keto chow, or it's got butter, it's got eggs. Well, if we do that 3 times a day, all of a sudden, are we tracking all of that in addition to our food? Is it filling us up? Those kind of things. So, Kat said, my blood pressure didn't go down after being on keto. Everything checked out okay. So, doctor said stress. I've been retired for a month now. My blood pressure is so low now. Go figure.
I completely believe it, because like you can get stressed out from people you work with. You can get stressed out with like computers. I mean, I feel like if somebody took our blood pressure like the 5 seconds before we went live, it would be through the ceiling, right? Because you're stressed out. You're like, even if you're excited, even if it's a happy stress, maybe like you have a kid that's about to get married, or you're about to get married, or you're about to move into a new home. That is a beautiful thing to be happening, but it also causes stress.
Right. So LM said, when you fast, how long do you fast for? Thank you. We change it up.
Yeah.
So our minimum is we try to go 12 hours between our last meal of the day and our first meal the next day.
Yeah.
Which some people are going to say that sounds like a lot, but that's 8 a.m. to 8 a.m., 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
We're just leveraging sleep.
So we generally, I'm going to tell you, most of the time we probably fall in, if you're counting our coffee as a meal, which it is, then we're probably closer to about 11 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what we shoot for, a minimum of 12 hours. It's a little bit more difficult for me at this time of the year with lacrosse season, but lacrosse season's almost over. So then things kind of ease up a little bit for me. But sometimes we do 16 hours. Sometimes we do 18 hours. We've done 72-hour fasts. We did over 100 hours once.
We've done 155, I think, once.
But we like to change it up because your body likes change.
Bluto said, isn't Caleb 22 now? I feel like he was 21 last year. Anthony was 21 last year. So they're very, very close.
Caleb is
in
the
age.
youngest.
He's the baby.
This is actually for the next, 4 months?
Yeah, until July.
Caleb and Anthony are the same age.
But Anthony will be 22 in July. He's July 3rd,
Yep,
baby.
and then John Paul will be 26 this year.
That can't be possible.
Aaron said, I went hard on the tracking when I first started, and it was intensely educational. Almost all 4 years of this health journey, I still occasionally track just to stay accountable. And that's what this is about.
It's just a check-in.
It's about accountability. Robin said, I look back at when I was tracking in the first quarter of 2021, and I realized my average protein was 73 grams a day, which I now know is too low. So I'm starting to track to make sure that I hit my protein goals.
Yeah, this is not like a challenge to be like that we're going to be, writing things down with one hand and a sledgehammer for ourselves in another. This is not to punish us. This isn't something that we need to be stressed out about in a bad way. This is going to be an education. This is going to be information. I don't want to get into the point where I do what I did about like testing my blood. Like in the past, before we got like our blood tested, it was like ignorance is bliss. I don't want to face information. So we've gotten past that, and this is a good time to have some spring cleaning, right? Maybe there's some spring cleaning we need to do.
Debbie said, I may have missed it, but will you provide those tracking charts somewhere for us, or where could we find them? Thanks bunches. Yes, I'm going to get them up on the website. And I think you're going to put them in Facebook as well.
I will. I'll put them on the Facebook family group.
But I will get them up on the website. We're just behind because we took yesterday completely off to spend the day with Caleb. And then I spent today all day at the dentist, and then I had a game, and things are starting to wind down. So tomorrow, got a couple of houses to cut, and then after that, we're just filming videos. Like no lacrosse or anything tomorrow. So let's see. Betsy said, just got here. What's all the talk about?
We were just talking about how much we love Betsy and how you are so cute, and we love you.
Virginia said, I started tracking in Chronometer and discovered I don't eat enough. And again, that can cause a stall. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that it's like, wait a second. I thought that the best thing that I could do is like restrict and like eat as little amount as possible. Well, that was the recipe when I was just counting calories back before keto, where 500 calories a day caused me to actually gain 70 pounds.
Kelly said, love that Anthony got you twice, Rachel.
Oh man, did he ever? Did you guys see that in the vlog today? It was a hoot, to be sure.
Yep.
And it's still happening.
Okay, so I'm glad Wellman said this,
because
it makes me bring up what I wanted to say before. So thank you very much, Wellman, for the $10 super chat. Said, is it better to eat a lot when you first start keto? My husband is tracking for the very first time and is on day 2 enjoying keto chow a lot.
Awesome.
So again, we have a whole series on how to get started on keto. The key is when you first get started, if you have somebody who's brand new, and we are actually working on an app to help people with this. It's just going to take us a little bit of time to put it together the way we want it.
Are you so excited? I'm so excited.
It'll be a 12-week program for somebody who's brand new.
Yeah.
But this is something that we're working on. But when you first get started, I tell people I don't want you to track anything. If you're brand new, hey, I need to lose weight. I need to reverse my diabetes, which again, we're not doctors or health professionals, but we know a lot of people who have reversed their diabetes with keto carnivore. What I tell people to do is, I don't need you to track anything. I want you to do one thing. Go in your cabinet and throw out all the sugar, all the grains, all the pasta, all the wheat, all of that nonsense.
Yeah.
Throw it all out. And then I want you to eat as much as you want for the next 1 to 2 weeks.
So what you're going to do...
But you cannot include any sugar, any grains, any pasta. So basically, you're just going to eat keto foods.
Yep.
But not track anything.
What you can do is, if you're in April and you're starting fresh and new, stay keto. Did you stay keto today? That's what you're tracking. Right. Check every single time that you are staying keto. So like, I like having a reward at the end of the day that says I did what I was supposed to do. So what you're just making sure is that you're staying keto, and you're not going to be eating the potatoes and the pasta and the rice that we used to eat pre-keto.
Yep. So after you do that, after you've gone 1 to 2 weeks of just not eating any of that stuff, then what we do is that's when we start going, okay, now let's try to eat only 1 or 2 meals or maybe 3 meals a day. And we kind of, at the beginning, that's where it's okay to have more fat, because we're teaching our body to use fat for fuel instead of carbohydrates. But then after a couple weeks, that's when we start dialing down the fat a little bit, not all the way. If you're eating 1-to-1, that's about 60% of your calories from fat, 60 to 65%. So it's still considered high fat diet.
Yeah.
We're just not eating really high amounts. Now, who needs to eat really high amounts? Somebody like Maitreya, where they're doing keto for medicinal reasons. They're doing it because of they need more cognitive function. They've got brain injuries, maybe epilepsy, things like that. And you need really high ketones, and the higher amount of fat will help with that. But you also have to look at other things if you're trying to lose weight. And that's where they might want to incorporate things like exogenous ketones or better yet, MCTs, because that will help increase ketones.
Because spoiler alert, if you came here for keto because of weight loss, you're going to be surprised to find that it's really for health gain.
Yep. Let's see.
Sherry.
Donna said, Costco chicken has lots of sugars. I was eating their chicken and eggs for 2 days, and it threw me out of ketosis. There is a little bit of dextrose and maltodextrin in their chicken, and we will have it once in a blue moon. It's just, again, you have to just know what's in there. Sherry, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. Says, what are your thoughts on the egg whites and beef gelatin crepes? Beef gelatin powder as healthy actual beef. Thank you. Nothing is going to be as healthy as actual beef because you're going to get everything you need in there. But beef gelatin is a good way to up your protein.
Definitely.
But there's a lot of vitamins that are going to be in beef itself that you're not going to get from just eating the gelatin. But we have not made the egg white wraps using beef gelatin, so I couldn't comment on like how good are they or anything like that. Let's see. Sherry said, are you reading The Iodine Crisis? If so, what do you think? I have not read that book yet.
But we are
iodine is super
intentionally
important.
adding iodine.
If you are not using the garbage table salt with the umbrella on it, which you shouldn't be, then you do need to make sure you're getting enough iodine, which you can get from foods.
Yeah.
But like things like seaweed and certain shellfish and liver and things like that. But you can also get it through the Keto Chow Daily Mineral Drops that Dr. Berry designed, or by adding some iodine to things like your coffee or something like that. And that's what we use both of those.
We use both.
Blue Dust, I love your interview with Kim Howerton.
We didn't even get a chance to listen to it yet.
I have not listened to it yet. I know it got released today.
I hope
it was great to listen while fixing dinner for the kids.
Oh,
I don't even know how long it is. I know that when we talked to her,
crazy.
It was over an hour. I don't know if she
time.
edited it down, but I love Kim. She's great to talk to.
Super awesome.
Rick Wynn said, I started tracking at the beginning of the year. I was carb slipping and needed to stop it.
Great idea.
Chef Fat said, I just started tracking after 3 years of keto. Wish I started sooner.
Awesome.
Haley said, my mom loves butterflies too. That's why I chose that picture for my profile.
Awesome. I have a butterfly tattoo on my ankle.
Maitreya said, I think before adding supplements like iodine, you should get labs to see if you are deficient.
Great
I would
idea.
agree with that. Lisa said, James keeps getting on and telling me I'm not getting enough protein every day.
You know what? That's isn't it interesting, like in a keto household, like what the new discussions are? Like, hey, honey, is that enough protein you got there? Did you get your iodine in? Like we have a lot of different conversations than we did before keto.
Betsy said, I'm going to ask my doctor for a script for a CGM. One has a freebie for 2 weeks.
Wow, great idea.
I highly recommend getting a CGM just to see what's going on. If you go to your doctor and ask them and they say no, here's a little suggestion. Just say to them, hey, listen, I would like to monitor my blood sugar to make sure that I don't become a diabetic, or have any kind of metabolic diseases. And so since you don't want to write me a prescription that I'm willing to pay for out of my own pocket, then what I'd like you to do is please notate in my chart that I requested it and you have refused it. And I would like a copy of that chart right now. Because basically what you are telling them in a nice way, not be nice when you say this, but what you are telling them in a nice way is, I would like you to notate that you have denied me something that will help me improve my health. And so if I develop diabetes, I plan on suing you. That's what you're kind of telling him, but you're not telling him. Not that you would actually sue him, but what it does is it instills a fear in them. I'm like, okay, this doesn't cost me anything. Let me give them a prescription because you're trying to improve your health. Or it's like what nobody wants to have you do, a calcium test.
Or you can just say, hey, just give it to me because there's a crazy bald man waiting in the lobby right there, and he's got some store-bought teeth, and you don't want him coming in here and starting stuff.
S. Wrong said, I started taking anxiety classes through my healthcare provider to learn how to better deal with stress.
That is such a brilliant idea. I love that. Yes, this is a great time to check and see, what does your health coverage provide? Because you would be amazed. There's all kinds of things a lot of times that insurance provides that people don't take, advantage of.
Diana said, I'm in bed like clockwork at 10 p.m. and my eyes just spring open at 6 a.m.
That is awesome. So you don't even need an alarm clock. I love that.
LaShawn said, sleep, what's that? I had insomnia. Bad, even taking Ambien.
Oh, wow. So, okay, do I get any pats on the back that you have gone through this entire month and I haven't faked you out with snooze buttons?
No, you have not. You've been very good. Lisa said, the coach at my gym suggested we turn off all electronic devices at least 30 minutes before bed.
Yes.
That would be a great thing to track. Yeah, actually, it should be
Screen
closer
time.
to... It honestly, from some of the stuff that I'm studying, it should be closer to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I just can't see myself turning off devices at 7 o'clock. I mean, obviously, it's 9 o'clock right now. So that'd be kind of difficult. But I mean, that would be the best.
That is good. Well, and again, screen time is a great thing to track and just say, okay, every single time I log on, even if I'm watching for entertainment purposes, I just want to know how much I'm watching.
Joanne said, just watched the interview on the Ketones podcast. Love it.
Yay!
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Becca said, I'm terrible about getting to bed at a decent hour. I'm always reading, and it's always one
Oh,
more
more
chapter,
chapter.
and then 2 hours later, I finish the book.
Aw.
Need to stop doing that.
I was talking to my friend who actually is going to begin a new job at the library. I'm so excited for her because it is a dream come true for her. She absolutely loves books, but she said that she actually had to take a look at even the size of the letters. So she was always reading fine print, and because she reads for very extended periods of time, she was like, I can't do that. I can't just let it go. I need to wait until I can get larger print to come in because I know I'm going to be reading books in a long space of time, and I need to be, mindful of using a larger print.
Cool Kid Keto said, Joe, I'm so hoping that by the time you get to Texas for KetoCon, you will be
Yay.
able to eat some awesome Texas barbecue because missing out a Texas barbecue would be so sad.
Too sad.
Well, that's, again, by the time we get to Texas, everything except for those implants should be in.
Oh, yes, let it be.
We'll probably have to sell one of the children to pay for it.
That's okay.
But yeah, so
What could we fetch?
and to solve the issue of where the implants are going to go, the plan is to get a partial just to get me through 6 months to a year. So I don't know. I'm still weighing that back and forth. She's like, you need it. And I'm like, I really don't want to spend $1,000 to only have it for 6 months. So I haven't decided yet. Joanna said, I've been growing out my hair for over 2 years, been dyeing it for 45 years. Surprised I have minimal gray hair. I'm 61.
My mother still does not barely have any gray hair. I don't know how it fully skipped a generation. She's like, oh, over here on the side, I have a little bit of grays. It's like, woman, I've had gray since I was 17.
Sky said, thank you so much. I hate the percentage thing and would rather figure out how many grams of each category I need. Makes way more sense.
It's a little bit more measurable for me.
Cool Kid Keto said, I have a ton of gray hair, but people think I've had it done like that at the salon. Thank you,
Mother Nature. I feel like if we were going to be gray-haired and bald, we picked the right time of this century to do that. All of a sudden, bald is hot and gray is cool. I feel like we timed this perfectly, Joe. Good job, hair follicles.
Lisa said, I haven't been sleep well either all this week, Joe, so I know how you feel, but I've also been stressing a little starting my new job on Monday.
I'm so excited for you, though. That's going to be awesome. They're a blessed
Debbie
workplace.
usually goes to work from I usually go from 7 p.m. to 9 a.m. 14 hours is about the best I can do right now. That is awesome.
But that's a lot, right? That's a long day.
Julie said, what about protein and fat intake when doing intermittent fasting, eating one meal a day? Okay, so again, I'm not against OMAD. I'm not against intermittent fasting. I believe that we need to change it up. The problem with OMAD every day or doing it long term is we can end up under eating. And Thomas DeLawler has talked, a lot of people have talked about it. It doesn't work, yes, but you could end up under consuming what you need. It is more important to get your protein in and get a decent amount of fuel in to continue to maintain your metabolism than it is to eat only one meal. You're better off having a time frame. So saying like, I'm only going to eat in this 2 hour to 4 hour window, but that means during that time you eat as many times. If you have to eat every 30 minutes or every hour, but then in the 20 hours or whatever that's off, you don't eat anything.
Right.
But that is the problem. But it's more important to get that protein in. If you're doing OMAD and you can only eat 40 grams of protein,
it's hard for
that's not going to be good long term.
Yeah.
Your metabolism could end up slowing down because you're not getting enough fuel into your metabolism.
Yeah.
So it's more important to get a decent amount of nutrition in. And then also change it up. Maybe do OMAD 1 or 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And then do other days where do 2 meals or 3 meals and switch it up that way.
But if you're like Joe and not like me, if you can hork food down like me, you may not have a problem with OMAD. But if you're like Joe cannot get the amount of protein he needs in if he is only left to like 1 meal a day. An eating window works a lot better for you.
And that's even the problem where you have people who do alternate day fasting, which can be a really good thing because that 36 hours of not eating is great for autophagy. But on the day you're eating, that's supposed to be a feast day, which means you're not tracking. You're eating just a ton, like almost 2 days worth of food. But then you're going to go 36 hours again without eating, and that's where your body can start generating ketones and all that.
I see somebody asking, why does Rachel look flushed and why does she sound hoarse? Flushed because we have to turn the air conditioner off in order for it to not come through the sound when we have a live stream. And so mama gets hot. And then the reason why I sound hoarse is because we went to the water park yesterday and I screamed on all of the slides.
And Anthony and Caleb kept dragging her on a ride she did not want to go on, but it was a lot of fun.
But they give you the kid guilt, like, Mom, this is like a time for family. Don't you want to be with family? And I'm like, not if you're going on that slide.
The best one was when Caleb looks, listen, I'm 21. Anthony's 21. He's going to be 22. How many more opportunities are you going to get, Mom, to hang out with your 20-year-olds?
All of the feelings buttons. I think that is unfair for children to push the feelings buttons. It's like mom guilt, right? I'll try to rein in the mom guilt, and you have to rein in the kid buttons.
Haley said, is it better to buy lean ground beef, like 97% lean and 6% fat, or should I go for something higher in fat? If you're going to buy lean ground beef, make sure you're adding some fat back in your diet. I personally don't like 96% lean because it doesn't taste good. Fat is flavor. I tried 90-10 is a good place. 85-15 is a better place. So we have 90-10 for the most part because we bought an entire share of cattle. And so we had 162 pounds of ground beef. And because it was a grass-fed, grass-finished,
I couldn't OMAD
raised here in Florida, that's just what it is. It's a leaner beef. So it's about 90-10. But then we add some fat back in. 85-15 is like perfect because when you figure it out after cooking, unless you take every drop of oil and fat that is in the pan and pour it back on your ground beef, you're at slightly higher protein than fat uncooked.
Oh, Annie's my bestie says, oh, Rachel, I have no problem horking down meat on OMAD. Yeah.
I have no idea where you're at.
I absolutely can hork down. I am a horker.
Yep. Sky said checking in on ourselves is great from time to time. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, Esther's birthday. You're on July 3rd also? How cool is that?
Rick Wynn said, I found when I was BBing in January that my sleep improved 100%.
Wow.
Now I try not to eat any carbs at night and I sleep better. Yeah, my sleep was much better when I was on BBB.
I will tell you, if I have a higher protein dinner, I do go right to bed and sleep very soundly because I'm using that protein wall as my advantage.
Yep. Blue Dove said fat cooks off of ground beef, so even 80-20 will be pretty lean after you keep the fat in.
Yeah, unless
80-20, like if you look up like pan browned crumbles, 80-20 will come out to be with almost 1-to-1 fat to protein when you actually crumble it up. Now, if you're cooking it on a barbecue, you're going to lose some of that fat on a barbecue, so that's something to take into account. But the other thing, if you are somebody who is worried, where we're not as worried, but if you are worried about maybe, things that the animals were exposed to, like if you're going and buying the cheapest stuff you can get at Target or Walmart or something like that. Some people will tell you to buy a leaner because any toxins would be in the fat, and then add in your own type of fat. For me, do the best you can. You know, whatever you can afford, you know, listen, grass-fed, grass-finished beef is extremely expensive. A lot of it isn't even truly grass-fed, grass-finished, and you don't need to be 100%. I do not worry that much about the toxins that may or may not be in the beef. You know, I do the best I can. You know, you'll get people that will be like, you can't have any of that stuff. And, you know, it's like, okay, well, what are you showering in? Because your skin is the largest organ in your body. So are you showering in pure spring water?
Right.
Because there's chemicals in the water, and that's all getting into our bodies. So just do the best you can.
You can do keto with hot dogs and mustard.
Right. Let's see. Martha said, my main reason to track is to see if I'm getting enough protein.
Great idea.
Yep. Betsy said Anthony was great.
Because he was like with the
yep.
blue.
Shauna said, what I love is that Anthony was so tickled to have gotten you.
Oh my
he
gracious.
was planning that.
Well, and I'm sorry, I like drug you in and on it too, because he got me at breakfast and you got nailed with the confetti popper too. But I'm not giving up. I've got to up it. Like I've already got in my mind like a new way that I'm gonna get him.
Joanna said, I was watching that vlog right before the live and Anthony had me belly laughing.
I love that. He'll love that. He will love that he gave somebody a chuckle.
Debbie said, I'm a major planner, checklister, and love to see the stuff crossed off and achieved. Visual is a must for me to keep encouraged.
Me too. I am a huge proponent of paper things, as much to Joe's chagrin, but I like it. I like having paper.
I'm converting you over to
I like to hold on to
digital planners, though.
You watch me. I have printed out my screen from Chronometer just to hold it in my hand.
Rhonda said, I've been tracking since starting keto. Tracking provides you with so much info. People don't realize that your body is constantly changing. What you can eat today may not be something that you can eat tomorrow. So true.
You want to trust Rhonda because she's amazing.
Joanna said, alongside my food journal, I keep a binder with charts of months measurements and weekly weigh-ins. At the end of the year, I can look back at my year.
That's a great thing to do also, is make this not about like tracking the food if you don't want to. How about track your measurements? How about take measurements once a week and track that and see where your waistline is going and, you know, how you're having movement in your clothes. That'd be an awesome thing to track.
Yep. Older Pennsylvania lady said, you have to make sure whether you need to supplement iodine because it could be bad for some thyroid conditions. I am concerned by some channels seeming to promote use, and most won't get tested first.
Great advice.
Joanna said, I add 2 drops of Lugol's iodine to my coffee daily. Purple Lady said, I got about halfway through the Kim Howerton one tonight before you came on. It's 1.5 hours. So she put the whole thing up.
Okay, cool.
Shauna said, I'm so ready to do this challenge because I need to get back on the track.
ASAP. Me too. I'm with you, Shanta.
Let's see. Esther said, my insurance will not pay for CGM, and right now I cannot afford one.
Sometimes I see deals.
There's lots of deals for them.
Yeah.
Betsy said, thanks, Joe. I'll remember to do that. I'm off methotrexate and Simson now. After I asked for support from my rheumatologist. Thanks, Dr. B.
I love it.
Wellman said, my doctor told me all he can do is write a prescription.
Oh, there you go.
Patty said, dang, I got busy. Forgot to turn over to YouTube. Glad I didn't miss the whole
Glad
thing.
You're here, Patty.
Yeah, Lori said there's a salt called low salt at some stores. It contains potassium chloride, sodium potassium, magnesium carbonate, and potassium iodine. So it hits many boxes.
There's another one. Is it new salt? NU?
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Lisa said my
go-to
lunches today when I break after a 16-hour fast is a sardine wrap, a can of sardines with a chopped hard-boiled egg and some mustard and hot sauce on an egg life wrap with seaweed snap.
Sardines are so good for you.
Too bad we don't like them.
I know, but they're so good. We need to be better. We need to be Lisa. She's eating all the good stuff. She eats liver too, and she also makes it look visually beautiful.
Janice said, why implants? I've had my dentures for 20 years. I'm doing great with no receding gums.
Probably you use better quality stuff.
Some of my problem is past issues, but I have a bunch of, like, I'm only getting 3 implants or 2 implants. So all the other teeth are basically going to be crowns over teeth, except for the bottom. The bottom is a partial denture. I'm not getting any implants on the bottom. We're fixing the front teeth, which is all I have. Everything on all my back teeth on the bottom is all a partial removable denture, and I'm sticking with that. I don't even have enough bone to do dentures down on the bottom.
Super sexy talk.
The only actual implants that I'm getting are up here, 4 teeth up here. So I think it's two or 3 implants with a bridge for the 4th one.
Yeah.
But everything else is just redoing crowns and stuff. Let's see. Patty said, I'm 72. I have no gray hair. I did have some streaks on it, but it was gone back to my natural color since starting keto.
I love it. Wow, that is awesome.
Pluto said, maybe from screaming from Anthony popping out of the woodwork. You were with those super poppers.
Oh my gosh. Now I was using like the 50-cent Dollar Tree ones, just to put this in perspective. And then he always is going to answer back with like a cannon popper, as you will see.
Sandy said, when you go through Mobile, Alabama, be sure to stop at Dick Russell's legit barbecue there. It's right on your way.
Okay, I'm all about it. Legit barbecue. I like that.
Bluto said, I want my hair to hurry up and turn and go white so I can easily add in fun colors without bleach.
Well, just have Anthony come over and shoot you with the blue cannon.
Joanna said, I do intermittent fasting and would eat at 1 p.m., dinner at 7,
there you
and
go.
then after 10 p.m. cravings would hit. I switched to eating at 11 a.m. and then dinner at 5 to 6, no cravings. Who knew?
Okay, so here's who knew, Joanna. You knew once you changed things up, what worked better for you. I love that. But you were open to change it up. That's the takeaway. That's so awesome.
So Juju says, so how do we feel about using Quest Oculus app called Trip on the Unwind Before Sleep? It's got the blue lights, I'm sure, but I fall asleep before it's even over half the time. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I'm all about it if it's helping you.
Joanna said, I've been struggling with it bad. I've gained a lot. I finally ate sooner, and so far it's worked. I still need to up my protein.
But this is a great start, right? Doesn't it feel so good when you get into an eating window groove where you feel like you are in control and not your cravings are in control?
Yep.
I love it.
Juju said, bars, hot dogs are better for you than a Pop-Tart, so don't listen to haters.
That's so good.
Is so
Mama
true.
Chris is here. Hello, Miss Lovely Chris Jones.
Stephanie said, I'm late to the conversation. Are we doing the BBB and April challenge again? Now, we are doing like tracking, and it doesn't have to be food tracking. You can be tracking how many times you eat, tracking how many times you exercise. Basically, stop fooling yourself.
Well, and I'm going to challenge Joe. Right before we came on this live stream, we had gotten some new...
Those Evolves that we reviewed?
White chocolate.
And they sent us some white chocolate.
I'm super excited
She's
about
like,
it.
now we're tracking. This is the best time that you can let me have one of these.
Show me where it works in.
Yeah, so we're going to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's not just going to be like, only certain foods. We need to try to incorporate other ones to give everybody the best view of what it can look like.
Marley said, are you two starting a new challenge, having fun watching all of your BBBE vlogs?
Thanks,
yeah, we
Marley.
do some type of a challenge or something every month. Betsy said that she thinks the Freestyle Libre CGM 2-week trial with a script. I Googled it.
Oh, awesome.
So that's perfect.
Great.
So I don't remember who it was before that said that they can't afford it.
Yeah, I think it was
prescription. Esther, get the prescription, and then you can get a 2-week trial. You only need 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a 2 weeks.
You're going to learn a lot.
It'll give you a good idea of what's going on, and then you don't need it. I mean, I've got a couple in there, but we would use it for 2 weeks and then not use it for months. You don't need to always have it unless you really need to monitor everything.
Hey, Wendy.
Wendy said, you helped me with my protein fat questions a while ago. I had a gain in a stall, struggled. Thank you. I've been prioritizing protein and tracking everything. Stall broken down 8 pounds.
That's awesome, Wendy. Thanks for letting us speak into your
Mark,
journey.
thank you very much for the $5 super
Mark.
chat. Said, hope you all are having a great weekend, ready for the weekend.
Yes.
I'm late. I'm going to restart the live stream. Hope your mouth keeps getting better, Joe.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Thank you very much. Deb said, I listened to the entire interview with Kim while at work today. Excellent. Yay. I shared it. I learned a lot about you.
Aw, well, we did share. You know us, we like overshare. But I think it's interesting to see like how far we've come. Sometimes it takes that sitting down and talking to somebody to kind of like get out, and you can see we've had a lot of hangups. I think that, sometimes people I think that, like, you know, put themselves out there. They're like, hey, everybody can learn from me because I'm so wise. No, our perspective is we are the most broken. We are the ones that have been the most guilty. We've been the hardest at getting started, and we've had the most hang-ups. So we hope to help, but we definitely come from that perspective.
Leanne, thank you very much. She said the 20% 2KK discount, which is linked down below in the description, works on top of the current 40% off discount of Perfect Keto having right now.
I'm loving that.
That is pretty good.
I like coupon on coupon on coupon. Yep. I'm all about it.
Let's see. Tracy said, I pledge to keep my measurements weekly for the month of April.
That is beautiful. That is an absolutely beautiful tracking challenge.
Maitreya said, good idea. Chicken crust with a little garlic butter and anchovies would be great.
I actually do not mind anchovies. When we've had it on pizzas and stuff, ever since we got, done keto, we've done a couple of like anchovies on every now and then. And it just kind of just adds to the salt flavor. I didn't get like a mouthful of seafood when we did it.
I saw earlier, but I somehow scrolled past it. Someone said, Rachel, you can drink coffee at night.
Yes, I can drink coffee 24 hours a day.
And it doesn't affect her.
Not only does it not affect me, but a lot of times it will help put me to sleep. Any warm drink will put me to sleep. And my body is not like, it needs to be tea or it needs to be hot cocoa or anything like that. Coffee will do.
Joanna said, Rachel, I was inspired by you to eat a breakfast.
Yay!
I realized I was hungry at 11, so I made your yogurt and added some keto sweetener.
Good.
Thank you for inspiring me to realize I need to eat sooner. And
Thank you, Joanna.
So everybody focuses on skipping breakfast.
Yes, they do.
Right? That's what you hear a lot. Intermittent fasting, don't eat till noon, don't eat till 1, don't eat till 2.
You don't have to do that.
It works just as well. It depends on you,
yes.
Okay? For me, I'm generally not really hungry till 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Rachel is hungry in the morning.
I am.
So, and for me, I want to eat later because of the lifestyle and the schedule that I keep. If I were to have my last meal at 4 o'clock, I'm going to want to snack and binge later on.
Right.
So for me, it's better off to have my last meal at like 7 or 8 or even 9 o'clock. And then my rule is I will not get in bed for a minimum of 1 to 2 hours after I eat. That's kind of what I do.
I think.
But other people like Rachel, she is better off having a breakfast at 8 or 9 a.m. and having her last meal at 2 or 3 o'clock.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to see one of the biggest wins in our marriage is if you see a current vlog that we're putting out like right now and you see me with a breakfast and him without a breakfast, because we used to feel like we could only be supportive of one another if we ate exactly the same thing, the exact same amount at the exact same time. And as we, especially through butter, bacon, and eggs, and that challenge, thank you, Dr. Barry, you've blessed our marriage, including our labs, but our marriage as well. We learned that about ourselves. I do better if I eat earlier and wrap up earlier.
Yep.
Just is a thing.
And even all my teeth issues right now, this is the first time we're eating different.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's okay. It's okay that Rachel ate 2.5 cans of tuna fish for dinner and I had 6 eggs.
Yes.
Right? And that was just never before.
I know that sounds silly. It sounds silly to say, well, we could eat different things. It was not something we could do. We have to eat the same. We have to eat the same amount. We have to eat at the same time. It was ridiculous what we were doing before.
Blanche said, one of my doctors asked how much and how often are you buying heavy whipping cream each week? That opened my eyes to just how much I was using.
Now I track. You're never going to be sorry taking a look at it.
Linda said, I haven't been sleeping well at all. My rent went up $500 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
I have to pay $1,900 tomorrow for the next 5 months.
Gracious.
And then hopefully I will find a cheaper place. I'm so sorry.
I hope you do, Linda. Oh my gracious. I know that like there's a lot of things that are going up like that.
Kat said, I also listened to a podcast with Kim and did not know about your mother's heart issue. That was amazing that she did need the stents.
It was. What a blessing. It was seriously a victory. And again, the more that you see your life blessed by keto, you want to share it. You just want to share it because you're thinking there is somebody right now that may be walking through a similar health journey, with their own family members. And you're just hoping that maybe if I could get this information to somebody else in time, they could have a good result too.
Yep. Kathleen said I can also do coffee 24/7, no problem.
right.
Now I smell caffeine and I'm up for 36 hours. Rick Wynn, everybody else, thank you very much for teaching people and telling people how to click the bell notification and make sure they're subscribed. Also, you want to do is if you use your phone a lot and go into your phone, go to the settings app on your phone and go to notifications and make sure you have YouTube notifications turned on in there as well. Because if you can turn on notifications within the app by clicking the bell button, but you could possibly, like I do, have on your phone notifications turned off. So I have notifications turned on like with the bell button for several people, but I told my phone I don't want notifications.
So it's not giving you any.
So Rachel, who clicks every time I want notifications.
Yes.
She gets every notification,
ding,
but I
ding.
don't because my phone doesn't want them, even though the app is saying to do them. So you have to make sure you do both.
I get notified when I get a new Joanne fabric update because I sign up for everything.
Esther said I want coffee all day, but now I know I can't do that because I would never sleep. Not because of the caffeine, but because going to the bathroom too many times.
I will tell you that I do take a look at how much liquid that I drink before bed because yes, I will wake up and it'll be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and nothing aggravates me more than when your sleep gets interrupted because you need to go to the bathroom. It's one thing if I wake up and I'm thirsty and I take a drink and then I haven't gotten out of bed and then I can go right back to sleep.
If I get up out of bed, I'm done.
We're done. We're donezo.
Rhonda said, me too, Joe. Tried eating earlier. Nope, doesn't work. Tried flipping meals to heavier meals early and a lighter meal later. Nope. So I'm back to eating later. It works for me.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to get off.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
9:30 came so fast today.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
My gracious.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And I completely forgot to mention, so we will have to make a post, but this Saturday is the first Saturday of the month.
It is.
And that means that we will be having, I forgot to tell you this, by the way.
Okay.
We will be having
I'm learning when you do.
Patreon and our supporter live stream.
I knew it, though.
Oh, you did know that.
I was gonna tell you. Remind you.
So we will be doing that at 5 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. We will make a post for it tomorrow. Don't forget, if you are a Patreon or a channel member, you get Fearless Friday tomorrow from Rachel. And again, people who ask us all the time, how can I support you guys? Use the links down below. Click on the ads. Make sure you share our videos. And if you do want to help us out, no obligation at all, but you can either become a channel member by hitting the join button down below or heading on over to the Patreon link, which is down below, and clicking there, or just using our links down below. They all help support the channel a little bit, and that allows us to get to all of these conferences and buy cameras.
I'm so excited.
And everything else.
Only 2 weeks.
2 weeks until we get to Utah, right?
I'll be the one with
bunny ears. We got so many
ears.
we're going to. Utah.
I'll be the one with bunny ears on.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
We love you.
Bye.